dein letzten Tag oder wie?
Bitte?
Dein letzter Tag?
Buongiorno a quasi tutti, to almost everybody. Okay, I know what the right side is.
Okay. Marco.
Marco and me?
Here, in the center.
Okay.
It's your person. So, herzlich willkommen. Schön, dass ihr trotz der großen Schockwelle, die durch Deutschland geht, und der heißen Olympia-Quali kommen konntet. Wir hatten ja gesagt, wenn Andrea wieder da ist, dann melden wir uns nochmal zu seiner Vertragsverlängerung. Podium kennt ihr, Andrea, Marco und Daniel ist auch hier. Okay, Coach, it's up to you. After a long season, it took a while, this was normal, and what were your thoughts and plans now for the future and to extend for 2 years?
First of all, it was, at least to me, the most natural thing to do. It was something that I'm happy to do, and it was a very, very long season with a lot of things going on, and then when we came to the end, it was at the end really something smooth to do. I believe that we just started. It was a great season. Can always be better, yes, but can always be a lot worse. So I enjoy every single moment, the good, the bad, high, lows, and I felt that there is still job to do. And it will be different. It has to be different, because if we want to repeat, if we want to try to repeat the season, how we build the roster and everything, the next season we will not be able to do it. So it will be different. I want to keep the same values with the club. That is the most important thing. Everything starts from the club, because we go on the court representing a brand, representing a club. And I believe that the thing that I'm really proud of is how the team represent the club the whole season. We were very far from being perfect, but at the end, our effort was almost perfect in every game. I can count on the fingers of one hand when the team didn't show up in the season. Games, this is a big thing. It's a big number. So how the things would look, I don't know. We have an idea. We have a plan. But like always Mike Tyson says, that everybody has a plan until somebody hits you in the mouth. So we are ready to navigate through the things. It's still pandemic time. It's still something that we have to navigate through. But I don't believe that we can make discount about the values of the team going on the court. This is the main thing that I want to address to you.
Jetzt bei Marco wechseln wir ins Deutsche. Marco, Andrea hat hier offenkundig...
Ich kann auch auf Englisch.
Ja, ich glaube, der Mix ist ganz gut.
Okay, so...
If
Okay,
there's any-
Daniel understands anyhow. You? English?
Anyhow.
Deutsch? Deutsch?
Deutsch.
Okay.
Okay.
Nicht so schnell, aber Deutsch.
Okay. Marco, Andrea hat ohne Frage letztes Jahr eine Handschrift hinterlassen. Was davon war wichtig für euch und für dich, das auch nächstes Jahr zu haben mit ihm als Trainer?
Ja, als allererstes möchte ich sagen, dass die Verhandlungen mit Andrea, als es um die Vertragsverlängerung ging, sehr, sehr einfach waren. dass wir schon, ich glaube im April hat sich Andrea mehr oder weniger zu allem, was wir hier machen, committed. Natürlich hat es dann aufgrund der Spiele gedauert, bis wir die vertraglichen Sachen, die Einzelheiten gemacht haben, aber das war nur pro forma. Das ist mir wichtig zu sagen, weil ich habe ein bisschen in den Medien, gab es verschiedene Gerüchte, dass es zu lange gedauert hat, das hat es nicht. Wir haben einfach aufgrund der Zeit mit den Spielen nicht die Zeit gefunden, die vertraglichen Sachen zu definieren. Warum sage ich das? Ich sage das deswegen, weil vor etwas mehr als einem Jahr, als ich das erste Gespräch mit Andrea geführt habe, habe ich ihm gesagt, weil Daniele und ich zusammen mit dem Präsidenten einen Plan aufgesetzt haben, was wir eigentlich machen wollen, habe ich ihm gesagt, dass wir keinen Trainer suchen, weil Trainer gibt es viele. Über seine fachlichen Kompetenzen als Trainer, glaube ich, braucht man nicht jetzt zu erzählen, sondern ich habe gesagt, dass wir einen Partner suchen, der uns die Möglichkeit gibt, diesen Plan, den wir aufgestellt haben, auch durchzuführen. Und ich muss sagen, dass die Zusammenarbeit mit Andrea, aber vor allem auch mit Andrea und seinem Coaching-Staff, den er aufgebaut hat, perfekt war. Wir haben alles, was wir geplant haben, wir mehr oder weniger machen können. Die Saison war eine Saison, die man wenn man ein Wort sucht, was die Saison definiert hat, dann war das Adaptation. Wir mussten uns ständig auf Sachen adaptieren und dieser Plan war ständig getestet worden. Aber ich muss sagen, dass dieser Plan, den wir aufgestellt haben, von Andrea und seinen Leuten im operativen Bereich, nämlich in der täglichen Arbeit mit der Mannschaft, mehr als erfüllt worden ist. Und deshalb gab es für uns überhaupt kein Nachdenken, wer könnte wenn das Andrea nicht bleibt, vor allem seine Signale schon Mitte April, war die Bestätigung dessen, dass wir uns auf ihn verlassen können, aber offensichtlich auch, dass er sich auf den Verein verlassen kann. Natürlich haben wir zwei Situationen gehabt, die uns nicht ermöglicht haben, eine perfekte Saison zu spielen. Trotz allen Herausforderungen, die wir gehabt haben, das waren wie immer in solchen Situationen Verletzungen. Wir haben es geschafft, als Verein zusammen, und für die Disziplin der Mannschaft ist immer der Trainer verantwortlich. Also man denkt immer, Daniele kommt und haut auf den Tisch oder ich. Nein, meiner Auffassung nach ist für die Disziplin der Mannschaft der Trainer in großen Zügen verantwortlich. Wir haben es geschafft, die gesamte Saison über ohne einen einzigen Corona-Fall zu spielen, was dafür spricht, dass wir wirklich sehr diszipliniert waren, aber wir haben in den wichtigsten Situationen, in einer sehr wichtigen Situation der Saison Beb verloren, der wichtig für unser Spiel war. Wir haben dann geschafft, uns zu adaptieren. Andrea hat dann geschafft, die Mannschaft einzustellen und in dem Moment, wo wir den Rhythmus gefunden haben, ist uns der Paul ausgefallen. Zwei sehr wichtige Spieler für das Konzept von Andrea. Und ich glaube, dann wäre es eine perfekte Saison geworden. So ist es eine sehr, sehr gute, exzellente Saison. Und deshalb gab es für uns alle im Verein, ich glaube, ich kann auch für Heiner sprechen, für Daniele überhaupt keine Überlegung, einen anderen Trainer zu verpflichten, weil Andrea alles das eingehalten hat, was wir abgemacht haben. Deshalb bin ich sehr glücklich, dass wir wieder hier zusammensitzen und die nächste Saison oder die nächsten beiden Saisons planen. Was it slow enough? Gut. Übrigens, Respekt nochmal an Sie. Sie sind Rechtshänder, ne?
So ist es.
Wo Sie schreiben klingt, das finde ich bemerkenswert.
Naja, also
Jetzt
jetzt
wobei ich nicht machen, das könnte ich nicht. Ja, ich kann mir vorstellen.
Okay, Daniele, On our wall, we have an article from last summer. The headline is "It will be a difficult summer."
Where do we have it?
It's in front of your table, but okay, I will show you later again. Yeah, with a transfer. Yeah, schwer. And what kind of market you face this season together with Andrea and Marco to build up and the roster now?
They are looking for good wines.
He has enough.
Never enough.
Nah, you guys are not serious. So it's pretty much the same. I mean, it's every year is the same for our team, and it's been the same throughout my years in the business. It's like a little bit like I remember when a journalist asked Andrea Pirlo, "How do you feel when you have to shoot a penalty during penalty kick at the World Cup final in 2006?" And he says, like, "What do you expect me to say? You see the goal very small and the goalie huge, so you just go there, you kick, and you get rid of the pressure. That's it. It's pretty much the same every year. We have to make our moves after everybody else, with few exceptions, because we did it or we can do it before everybody else. When nobody knows, we move ahead of schedule. And for the main part, we're just got to be very patient and very confident, and hope for the best and plan for the worst."
So, das waren die Einstiegsfragen von hier oben. Gerne jetzt ihr. Patrick.
Was there any situation where you had the slightest doubt if you stay or not?
Say it again, sorry.
Was there any situation where you had the slightest doubt that you want to stay in Munich?
No. No. You know, one thing is, one very important thing is when you have to make a choice, to have the freedom. So at a certain point of my career, I can choose to work or I can choose to don't work. It's not mandatory. The doctor didn't say you have to work. So at this point, I wanted to work in the best possible environment. And to me, this is, the next season is just the second part of what we start doing this season. So, as I said, it was a very natural thing. Then there is always things that needs a little bit of time. It's very normal. It is like always like that. But I cannot have doubts. Otherwise, I cannot do a good job. So, and I know that it will be difficult. It was already difficult this season, but this is not a doubt. I'm sure that we have to navigate through things, that we have to have plan A, plan B, plan C, but this is not a doubt. And I made my mind about the decision when I spoke to the president, and he explained me very well what is the target of the club in the upcoming years. So there will be a Bayern before SAP Arena, and there will be a Bayern after SAP Arena. So our job is to navigate this organization through this major change in the history of the club.
This talk was last year.
Yes, late spring. Almost late spring, right?
Yeah, I can say it was after Barcelona. So
Yeah.
after the Barcelona game.
Bravo. Just.
You once said in an interview, I guess in your podcast here in Bayern, that you would, the league has to apologize that you will stay in the BBL to prolong
They didn't.
your contract. They didn't.
They didn't,
apologize.
but they didn't, and I don't expect it anymore. I understood from where the winds come, at least, so I can navigate with my sails through this. But at least I have a target, And my target is to adapt and to find a way to cooperate better. So if I don't have any signs from the other side, I will make a step forward. I will try to be better. So the only thing I don't want is somebody can point a finger at me and says, he didn't try whatever he could. I'm gonna try hard to have everything better. I'm gonna make it, I don't know, but at least I'm gonna give it 100%.
Do you already know who will be your new assistant coach?
No. No.
Somebody who's good at making pizza for sure.
No.
Yeah, it's mandatory.
Yeah, of course.
No.
I understand you had a coaches meeting, yearly coaches meeting a couple of days ago.
Yes.
What did your colleagues tell you after this astonishing Bayern season?
Not much. It's a closing and opening thing same time. So the closing part is really 15%, and it's more something addressed to the next season. So, and as coaches, we don't have the privilege of have time. So the season is over. I believe that was one of the best EuroLeague season ever. I believe that Efes deserved to win because it's I would say even a 3 years chase for the title. And they were great in coming motivated again after the last season was cancelled, and they were playing amazing. They kept they kept the whole team together. That helps. But we had an unbelievable EuroLeague season. We were one possession away to make it to the Final Four. But I know exactly that this is not the starting point. The starting point that is we have 0 wins, and there is a lot of team in front of us. So we need to go through this. So I'm trying to forget this EuroLeague season very, very quickly.
Can you share some of the ideas you mentioned before? What will be the difference from last year's team to this year's team? I have opened my Eurobasket database so I can type in a few names of players to look them up quickly.
We will not comment any rumor because they are rumors. We will not talk about that because it makes no sense. I can give you an idea of what we were what we are looking for, and it's not a name of a player. So we saw that we started with 15 players. Okay.
Last year or?
Last year.
Yeah, 16 including, okay 15.
14 plus 2
yeah.
youngsters, and at the end we didn't have players. So this is the point. So we have to understand how to come to the end. Hopefully we are going to have other 90 games, hopefully, next season. Maybe not, but still, in worst case scenario, will be more than 80. So we have to take this in consideration, like more important than the names of the players we are going to bring. Because at the end, that will make the difference. How many games and who you can send on the court. Because in the last games, we could not choose who to send on the court. And this is together with the values of a team that fights, of a team that plays hard, that competes, I believe. This gives you at least a target where to look to find players.
So a bigger roster.
Big enough roster.
Big enough, but would say the well-balanced roster.
I want to shortly introduce myself because I'm here for the first time, Sebastian Winter from Süddeutsche Zeitung. Because you said a big roster, but you don't have a number of because you were saying 14 14 guys last season. Should that be, I don't know, 16, 17 at least, or isn't it that important?
I don't believe the number of players is the most important thing. I believe that we need to know how to use. So now we have more experience in how to use the roster through the season. That means that we have to rest players more often. So we need to have 2 teams in 1 team. You cannot expect, you cannot demand that players play hard 4 times in 8 days. It's not possible. So we need to rotate, and we need to be able to rotate the players to have at least every game 5 or 6 players that are able to play at 100% of their physical and mental shape. So the number is not, I can tell you 25 or I can tell you 15. I believe you need to have 2 teams that can play close games. This is the most important thing.
This, correct me if I'm wrong, but this sounds like maybe 1 EuroLeague team, 1
No,
Bundesliga team?
no. It's totally different. I don't want to have Team A and Team B. We have only 1 team. It's FC Bayern. I want to know that if I ask to some players to play on Friday and give it all, because this is what we want, what Marco wants, what Daniele wants, what the president wants, what the fans want. We go there and we compete. We cannot ask the same players to go 100% after 48 hours and maybe 7 hours flight, 7 hour trip. It's not possible. So I don't want to have injuries coming from the load of the players. It will happen, but I will try to reduce them. This is the thing. Not 2 teams, I said 2 teams in 1 team. It's totally different.
I have a question for everybody, except I hope.
Thanks.
Yeah, finally you understood in what problem we are fighting every day.
It is concerning the German players.
Yeah.
Will you change the philosophy, how you implement?
This is a
German
good
players
question.
in the team?
I let 2 wing players to answer to this. You are a wing player, right?
I was always.
Left wing first.
I was playing on the right side, so I could attack to
The middle.
Like Robin. Should I answer?
Yeah.
Okay, what was exactly the question? No, I understood, but precisely because I'm talking to a basketball expert, I need the question precisely.
Well, maybe the biggest difference between Bayern and Alba Berlin in the finals was the stronger squad of German players. So will you change the philosophy and maybe the quality of the German players for the next season?
Well, I don't want to talk about. I go first.
Yes, definitely.
I go first, and then they adapt what I say.
We navigate.
We navigate. So.
Seems to be a difficult question.
No. It's very simple. To me, it's a very simple question.
It's a good question.
It's a good question, but it's simple to answer. I don't want to. How should I say? Talk about Alba, but I totally disagree with you. Because although everybody is talking about the German players with Alba, I believe that we beat them in the cup. And I thought that we were 1 player away who was out to have a better chance to win the championship. So when I talked about the plan that we had before the season, our plan was not to sacrifice players for the next game. So to navigate through the season, and in the season, there were different priorities for changing every part of the season. And I believe we got exactly where we wanted to be, but we were one German player away to have better chances to beat Alba. And don't forget that Alba was back then reigning champion and cup winner. So I believe, I understand it is a topic that people like to talk about, but I totally disagree with this. Regarding German players, now I'm long enough in Munich, and our goals are not only to be the best team in Germany, our goal is also to be the best possible team in Europe. And I don't anymore look at passports. We want to sign players that are good enough and are also ready to fight for their position in the team. And it's because the competition in Bayern Munich, in the team that wants also to be very, very competitive internationally, is big. And I don't, this is at least my opinion, I don't want to give presents to German players. They have to fight for their position in a very competitive environment. And Danilo Bartel and also Paul Zipser have shown that German players are able to come to Bayern Munich and fight for their spot and compete against very good foreign players. And we are looking for these kind of players. Who are they going to be? I don't know yet. I mean, I know, but I'm not going to tell you. But we are looking for players who don't take the German rule as a granted thing. We look for German players who want to compete for their spot. And this is what we're looking at. Now, are we going to have those players? I think we will. But we are looking at players, and we are not looking for German players. We are looking for players who are ready to take the competition and fight for their spot. Because what I see right now going on in German basketball is that some German players think because of the German rule they automatically deserve a spot in a very competitive environment. And in Bayern, it's not possible. So the players that are going to play for Bayern Munich have to be players who are competitive and who are going to fight for their spot and deserve it. And we have a coach, this is why Andrea is so important, who knows reward those kind of players. Because the jump that Paul has done this season was extremely connected to the way he adapted or Andrea adapted to him. So for these kind of players we are looking.
Who's second?
Is this a little bit, or you have a question after my...
No, it's perfect, but I don't see these German players. I mean, I watched the German...
Yes, but we are not looking for the most beautiful German player who looks good. We're looking at character first, players who are ready to fight for the spot. And then the job of Andrea and his coaching staff is to put them in a position to be very good and to develop those players, obviously. And when you look at the German national team, I interrupt you.
I mean, one of the philosophies of the soccer department, the football department of Bayern Munich is that the very best German players have to play for Bayern Munich. Of course, this is completely different.
No, but the difference with soccer is because many people ask me this. The German players that play for Bayern Munich are world-class players. That makes a difference also on international level. You know, and we would like to have those. We had those, and then we couldn't keep them, obviously. But the development that they did with us shows that it's possible at Bayern Munich, and we are looking for these kind of players. Because I can't get Lucic don't forget the development of Lucic, because when Lucic came 6 years ago, he developed himself with his character, attitude, work spirit to what he is now. It was not after a year Lucic is this what he was now. So he also fought for his position like Bartel did, or Paul is doing now. Okay, so I personally, I don't make a difference. We want players who are ready to develop with the club and fight for their spot, like the club is fighting for their spot in the elite of international competition.
So you're not concerned about the situation right now that there is no unique player on the national squad?
No, why would I? Anyway,
There's no Munich player on the national team for an obvious reasons. Otherwise, your question wouldn't belong here. I think it's pretty obvious.
Paul is injured, of course.
so he would be on the squad.
Yes, of course. But right now, next season.
Do you agree with me that Paulo is, in this moment, the best German player that plays in Germany?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Can I add one thing to his question? There's a very dangerous disease here in Germany that us Italians have experienced 15 years ago. And I'll give you this example. Forget the senior players, forget the national team. It happened over the course of time that young kids, very young kids, pushed by families, agents, this and that, would come to us and ask for a career plan. And you give the kids a career plan, but what they're really asking is a contract to follow up to what Marco was saying. So if you want a career plan, I can design the career plan together with you and the coaches who are going to put their hands on your talent, if this is the real question. But if the real question is, I want the contract, and this goes beyond the career plan, and I say always, like, I'm not going to give you a contract if you don't commit to the career plan we have. And then you have to digest the fact that somebody might leave. But I learned over the years that if you do things for the wrong reasons, you will get the wrong results. And I'm not chasing these guys, because sooner or later you will have to face the problems that inevitably they're going to bring to the table. And I think that this is a deeper, endemic type of problem that goes beyond the surface of things that you can see when you watch the national team or the supposed to be quality of our German players. Don't forget that our German players were part of a squad that won 21 games in the EuroLeague and went one shot away from the Final Four. So they fulfilled the role that they had, they were given. And for the rest, I think the general manager spoke pretty clearly about our philosophy.
One thing I forgot to say, we have a situation now which we don't, as a club, don't want to be part of it, because I don't believe in this, because I was a player, and I was given a chance in different environment, but I was given an opportunity, and this is all I needed, an opportunity. Then I had to fight. We have a situation now that clubs are running around contacting our young players, promising them playing time in the Bundesliga. Okay? Now, this is something that I'm not going to allow in our club, that we promise playing time. What we promise is an opportunity. And the opportunity that we promise is to come, get a chance with coaching staff, with the player development that we have built up over years, to become a better player and fight for your spot in Bayern Munich to be internationally competitive and best in Germany. This is what we're offering, opportunity. But what we are not going to allow is for a young player to come to us and we promise him playing time. He does not promise Shishko playing time. Why would we promise somebody playing time? And there are clubs running around promising our young players who are 16, 17, who've been developing our program, saying that Bayern Munich does not cherish German players, but we promise you playing time. And now you can count how many players came out of our program, were promised playing time, which they were supposed not to get in Bayern Munich, because the comfort zone is a big thing that Andrea and we talked this season. So they were in a comfort zone in the sense, why would I fight for my spot if somebody guarantees it to me? And now you can see who went out of our youth program, got these promises, and who really made it. Okay, so the thing is that I want to make clear that, especially you understand me, is that we offer opportunities for a young player to develop as a player and as a person. But he has to do the work. Like Paul did, for instance, when he was 17 or 16 when he came, or Danilo did in the development of a stage of his career where he could have went to Andrea and Danilo to Bamberg, but he went to Bayern because he saw his opportunity and he fought for his spot. And Danilo's first year in Bayern Munich was very difficult, as you remember. And he had to wait one more season until Matchman got hurt, and then he basically used his opportunity. So we are looking for these kind of characters. I think maybe they are undervalued, but there are German players who have this character trait, and this is what we're looking for. But you must understand one thing, Michael. We want also to win, and not only in one competition, but in two competitions.
Yeah.
And for this, we are looking for right player. Now, a German passport or not?
It wasn't criticizing you.
No, I understood. I understood.
You have to have 6 German players for the BBL.
No, we don't have to have 6. We have to have 6 foreigners, but how many Germans we have? We don't have to have 6.
Yeah, you played with 3, but
Yeah, but you don't have to have 6 to play a game. Let's say. Yeah.
Coach, you want to add something?
Nope.
No?
I know no names of
Me too.
players, but I try. Is it? Do you think
You can try, but
a player who has the skills of Andreas Obst is interesting for Bayern Munich for the future, for next season?
to me,
Everybody.
Andreas, you should answer to the question. I think it's your time.
I know Obst very well. We gave him his first chance, and he's a very good player, played a great season. Okay, I know him personally, and he is the prototype of a player that tries to fight the comfort zone. He went to play in a different country. And so that says everything about him. Then, if he's interesting, yes, it is, but there are many of them.
Yeah, but he puts pineapple on the pizza, so he will never play for us again. So
Yes. He tries to do this because his name is Obst. So
exactly.
Obst on pizza, so we have a problem. So, no. We can't afford to have a pizza with the ananas, sorry, we can't.
Another try?
One more question. Next season, 3 competitions like last season's, very exhausting competitions. Is it possible for a club like Bayern Munich to concentrate in the same way on these 3 competitions, or should Bayern say, perhaps one time we concentrate perhaps on EuroLeague 5% more and to try to come to the Final Four, and then perhaps not in the way on the cup or on the Bundesliga?
Never ever say Final Four. Never pronounce this. This is something so far. It's a goal. I see that nobody was able to do it consistently. Not one team that was chasing the playoff was able, in EuroLeague, was able to consistently have the same impact through every game. This is a goal. We have to learn how to do it. We had some data from this season, and but I learned one thing. It's not pleasant, but you have to be ready to drop some games, because sometimes we were asking players to move the right hand, and they were moving the left hand. So we are saying go right, and they were going backwards, just because the load of things that was happening doesn't allow you to be perfect every day. But this is the goal. We will try to compete in every competition, like we did this season. If I had one team that hates to lose, was this team of this year. We hated to lose, and sometimes when you need to accept to lose, to move on to the next one, because it's 90 games, and you have to navigate through this. It's very, very difficult.
You said you don't want to comment names of players who may come.
Third time, eh?
No. What about players who may leave? Jalen Reynolds, will he go back? Will he leave Tel Aviv already?
Who are you asking the questions? Because you were looking at him,
But
but now you're talking to me.
I'm sorry. Maybe you're the. What about?
Well, I have to say that the good thing in this profession is that you never stop learning, and there are things that keep surprising me. So it's good because I keep getting surprised, and it means I still have energy to do it. You sometimes see pretty unorthodox things happening. Jalen Reynolds, it was no secret, he has a clause in his contract to terminate it. There's another club who announced him, so good for both of them, but nobody has talked to us officially, so we're waiting. That's the answer I can give you.
The clauses you can decide if he has to stay.
No, both
Both ways.
sides can decide whether to go on together or not next season. Both sides, both the club and the player. So I assume that in a certain case, somebody behaving on behalf of the player would have to approach us somehow.
But you have not yet been approached that he's not willing to.
Not that I know, unless they approach them, but
Your phone was
formally.
busy?
You can't reach. Nobody can reach on the phone.
Okay, sorry. That's true, by the way. We don't count on him. That goes.
Okay,
without
there's a
saying.
deadline. There's a deadline in the contract, and we wait for people to contact us.
Yeah, exactly.
But if they announce him, they for sure have a deal with him. But formally, there is a date. Nein. Deadline is
22nd of July,
July.
if I'm not mistaken. Could be earlier, might be later. Who knows?
What about the other players? Like Baldwin, any development?
There's no deadline with the other players. So.
And with any direction going, or can you
No,
share?
listen, I very frankly tell you about Baldwin because it seems to be the Destiny's darling, you know. I mean, Baldwin has expressed his will to come back. He has been excellent with us. We have had a lot of fun with him. Busy days also, but there's one thing that I have to say. I mean, because I have to say it. You know, if you count the 12 playoff games, Baldwin was assigned 12 technical fouls. and ejected twice. So I think that this is, we need to call things with their name and not to just circle around the problem. This leads us to a very deep, how do you say, very deep and detailed talks amongst ourselves with the player and with somebody else. So it's not a decision whether to bring him back or not that you can take by snapping the fingers. First of all, because the market is receiving his stock. Let's say he's raising his stock. And second of all, because even if we have the chance to bring him back from a financial standpoint, there is another type of consideration that has to be made, and this is what I just talked about. So, to be honest with you, I feel that he might have been behaving a little bit in a borderline way sometimes, but I also believe that respect is a two-way street, and for sure he was paid back with the same type of currency. Let's put it this way. And in order to bring a spectacular player back that is going to be an investment for us, we need to be sure that the guy is treated fairly, which I don't feel has happened. And this is a personal opinion. I'm not speaking on behalf of the club. There's the general manager here, so. But I have to say it because I'm a comprehensive guy. Even too much. That's what these two guys tell me. But yeah, when you see things, going a little bit over the line, they go over the line. And I have to address the point.
Gibt es noch weitere Fragen? Sebastian.
Is there any plan of Bayern Munich for next season, which probably also will be at the beginning a corona virus season of spectators program or planning how many spectators and so on?
That's a very, very good question. I think we are totally prepared. I think it was a good opportunity, the last two games, that we had a chance to play with fans, although I believe it was 20% of capacity were allowed, and I think everything went very, very smoothly regarding organization, discipline of the fans. We have a concept that scales up to even 70% under the corona, let's say corona, all the corona challenges that an organization of an event might have. So we are totally prepared. And it doesn't depend on us. First of all, it depends on the situation outside. If it stays like this, we can do whatever is asked from us. And then it depends also on the Bavarian government, what they will allow. I heard yesterday that Mr. Söder opened up even more for spectators. Now, obviously, for sports outside, because sports in the arenas basically now is cancelled or is stopped. But yes, we are prepared depending on the environment in which we will be in, let's say, end of September and then moving on forward. So if it's 100% or 50% or 20%, it's also very difficult to plan financially, but I think we are prepared for all kind of cases. What is going to be very difficult to prepare is 0 or 20%. So we all hope that we will have more spectators starting end of September or beginning of October.
How much spectators do you need to come in the plus area?
100%. I mean, 100%, which nobody can guarantee you. So the less ticketing, the less money we can invest in the team. More ticketing, more money we can invest in the team. Very simple. but I believe everybody but Maccabi, who already played with, I believe, with almost full
Yeah.
capacity,
Mhm.
and the Russian teams, I think everybody has the same problem. So everybody has to navigate, to wait how the things develop. But this problem is not gone. It's the same like last season. So this is what Andrea said. These are one of the challenges that we have to face and navigate and be prepared. And we are ready to face those challenges.
In sponsors, I think you were speaking about 30 million. That's in a year that you want to reach as soon as possible. How far is this away? Do you need a new arena for that?
Yes, 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 most definitely. Most definitely I mentioned those 30 millions, like Andrea has goals for his team, in everyday, practice or games. We on the business side have a goal of 30 million. Now, everything depends on the situation. If the situation relaxes and we get in a normal environment, I believe when the new arena comes, we will try to reach 30 million, which in my opinion means that we could be very competitive with our team on very continuous basis. But this is a goal that we have. Can't be reached next season for sure. Very difficult also the season after that. But when the SAP Garden comes, we have to be ready to be there and develop like we did over the last 10 years, gradually.
So it comes next year.
Excuse me?
The SAP Arena comes next year.
No. The season after that, yeah. We count fourth quarter of 22 or the first quarter of 23. But for sure not the whole season will be, I don't think the whole season 22-23 will be in SAP Garden, because I don't think it will be ready to start the season. But the season after that for sure, so we need to prepare for this season. Like Andrea says, the next 2 seasons we have to face a lot of challenges, which we will accept and fight. But then when the SAP Garden comes, let's say season 23-24, the club has to be ready to make a next step from a business point of view and from a team point of view.
One final question concerning the team philosophy. You won a lot of games because of excellent defense, switching defense. Everybody was talking about it. Would you like to stay that defense first philosophy, or would you add some things for the offensive?
Defense will be for sure the most important thing for us. Will be not the most important. I want to correct myself. It will be the starting point. So whoever wants to play for us must commit on defense. Then what you can do tactically on defense depends on the personnel. And as I said, many things. It took me 25 days last season of preseason to put everything together and throw it in the restmüll, and to change completely everything what I was thinking was the right thing for this team, for the last team we had. I hope that this year it will take me 10 days, hopefully, okay? So don't start with the idea that what was good the last year will be good this year. The thing is values. So our value was that we want to play defense every game. What will you do? It depends on the personnel, on the opponents, on the moment of the season, and on the game. We'll try to understand what is the best thing for us and what is the best thing for winning games. We will try again, but maybe we will use it more, we will use it less. We'll do something different. I don't know. It depends. But the value that you earn your minutes starting from the defense.
Henry Rocco likes to play defense, so it's good fit.
Who?
Henry Rocco.
Carl Endry.
Nocco. How do you know that? Did you ask him?
No, it's my brother, let's say.
Is that a question? Or?
Remark.
I have his number, I can give it to you.
Alle Fragen gestellt? Oder bevor wir in den Sommer gehen, noch eine Frage? Eine letzte? Dann danken wir euch fürs Kommen. Interessante Stunde. Ganz ohne Fußball wünsche ich euch im Namen von allen einen schönen Sommer.
Grazie.